Welcome, beautiful soul. It's time to remember who we are. You were born for this moment, this breath. Nature teaches us and reminds us that whatever it is that we are searching for, that whatever our hearts and souls are longing for, we must know our unlimited power and worth. It's all already within us. So thank you for saying yes to this moment. Thank you for saying yes to this journey. And most of all, thank you for saying yes to yourself. Welcome, beautiful soul. Welcome, beautiful soul. I am delighted and honored that you are sharing time and space to be with us today. Our topic is one that I think is so important. We're going to be talking about how do I find the right path, right in air quotes, for me. So many of us are searching and seeking, and I really want to answer this question and talk really candidly about what it means to say yes to what is for us and how to understand what that means for each of us uniquely and somewhat collectively as well. We're going to, of course, take a moment to breathe because I love to breathe. And I think it's just such a beautiful way. And it has a metaphor for us to inhale what's for us, let go what's not, and to just take a moment and reconnect with our inner heart and our inner soul. So let's close our eyes if you're safely able to right now. And the first thing we do is simply notice the inhale and the exhale leaving our nostrils. Every inhale, every exhale is a gift, and this is our time to say thank you to ourselves for being here and being alive. And of course, we always say thank you for lovely breath of life moving through us, connecting us to breath of life, obvious and existing all around us. So take a few more moments to let the inhale connect you to everything that nourishes you, replenishes you, and is for you. We inhale kindness and compassion and gentleness for ourselves. And we exhale all that we don't need. We let go of any judgment, any worry, any fear, any tension that's no longer serving us, any comparing, any blaming. We let that go. And now let's just do 1 5 5 5 breath together. And that simply means we're going to inhale for 5 seconds together. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds and exhale for 5. And it's all okay if we're on different counts a little bit. So here we go. Nice deep inhale. And we hold it. And now slowly let go. And whenever you're ready, you can come back and open your eyes if you close them. I always say, woo, that breath is always so delicious. And I could probably stay there a lot longer on any given day. Our topic today is how do I find the right path for me? And right is in the air quotes. There are a lot of messages that we absorb and hear about what's right for us. When we're younger, our parents, most of the time, or guardians or grandparents decided what the right school was. And we just went with it. We didn't have a choice. And someone may have said, this is the right food for you to eat, or this is the right music for you to listen to, or this is the right place for you to live, the right, you know, person to spend your time with. And there are so many influences that when it comes to understanding our right path, some of us, and I'm talking about me, are so out of practice, and we're so out of practice understanding what's right for me, that was a whole place of discovery. So I'm going to talk about it from the place of discovery, and then I'm going to bring us to a new understanding about finding our right path. So the discovery part was, whoa, that was painful. It was uncomfortable because I was running up to a brick wall, is how I describe it. I was running and then eventually hitting a brick wall. Like, what's for me is, you know, I talk about way back when I wanted to be a doctor. Now, I still nerd out. You heard me talk about science, and I love biology and how the body works. And there's some truth there. But the real reason I was seeking that was because I was smart enough to observe that there was a lot of prestige, and our community, rightly so, teaches us that doctors, you know, are this esteemed group of people. And I wanted to be a part of that. Not so much for the science, but because I needed, and I was so drawn to the admiration. Do you understand that? Any of you? Anybody out there who was longing for admiration or some affection? And so it didn't end with careers. It ended in so many ways that I let other people decide for me. And I'll use the analogy of deciding what's your favorite ice cream. And that's a really simple question. And I hope that most of you who are listening know the answer to that. And I'm going to be honest, there was a time when I couldn't answer that. I couldn't answer what was my favorite color because I was so used to deferring to what someone else wanted. And so when it comes to the right path, right again in air quotes, I was following not the current of life. I was following what the loudest voices around me that I deemed as more important than my own were saying to me. And so that led me to ultimately have to fall on my knees, on the ground. It led me to be in a pile, crumbled, asking, who am I and what is for me? Because I finally wore myself out from saying yes to what everybody else had ordered for me. It's like going to a restaurant and someone else decided what you're going to have. And when that constantly happens, you lose the ability to decide. I lost the ability to decide. And yet, the truth is, I always knew it, always was inside of me. I just had stuffed it and silenced it to the point where I couldn't perceive it. And thankfully, I got so tired of not knowing. The pain of realizing I don't know me, I don't know what's for me, led me to little by little say, I am seeking and I want to know more. Now, I'd love to tell you this all happened in a quiet corner of my life and everything else went on smoothly. And instead, no, it happened while I'm a wife, while I'm a mother. It happened while I was a minister, as a priest, serving in a formal community. And I eventually had to say, wow, I am changing and evolving, and I need a moment to reconnect with me. And as I began to reconnect with me, I discovered the me is so passionately connected and feel so drawn to the all. Now, I know that's unique, and it kind of freaks a few people out. But what I mean by that is I wanted to go and experience what it means to go here inside of me. And the here inside of me was telling me there's no separation between what you think is not you and what is you. And I said a mouthful there. There's no separation between what you think is not you and what is you. In other words, I feel so drawn to the light, to the love, to the essence of who each of us are already. Even when we're a hot mess, because I have been a hot mess. Whew. Yes, I've been a hot mess. I have bumper stickers, t-shirts, the bag, the swag bag, all of that. Hot mess meaning so busy caring about the outer, so busy trying to get to the next place, so busy fighting to hold on to what no longer is for me because I think in my head that that's going to make me something. And when I finally let go of the ropes of trying to control something, I realized here's the big truth, that where's the right path for us, right, again in air quotes, we're all exactly where we're supposed to be. So even when I was falling, collapsing on the ground, confused, that was right where I needed to be. When I was serving formally in that community as the very traditional, I guess somewhat as traditional as a woman priest can be, that was where I was supposed to be. Where I am now, as still a priest, most people don't even see me as that. The yogi, a spiritual coach, an executive coach, still wife and mother, board member, community member, creative, working on film, supporting arts. That is all a part of me. All of that are just an example of experiences, because the real truth is the radiance that lives within us. That's who we really are. That's who we really are. And wherever we are on this journey is where we're supposed to be. We get so caught up in thinking that it has to be defined and labeled and fit into this small box called our mind and our thoughts. And the truth is so much wider, so much bigger, cannot be contained. That you are such an expansive being, and wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. Now, the only caveat or a little asterisk I'd put with that is, and I hope there's still some curiosity to want to keep growing, to want to stay open, even if you can only be open a centimeter of a centimeter, to be open to see what may be in the next moment. What my mind can't even picture because it can only go backwards and show me a picture of what was backwards and illustrate it for me as though it's in front of me. And that's so limited. And instead, what's available for each of us is far more than we can imagine. Now, I want you to be assured that you can't miss it. There are no mistakes. You're right where you're called to be. Even if that place is filled with turmoil, even if it's filled with joy and ecstasy, you're right where you're supposed to be. But each moment, and instead of but, each moment presents us with whatever it presents us with. That is presence. To be willing to yield and accept what is in each moment. So that's how I can say wherever you are, it's right where you're supposed to be. Now, the next moment is up to each of us. And the more we consciously connect to the truth inside of us, the more we learn how to discern it, how to notice it, how to honor it instead of stuffing it, the more clarity that we will have, the more peace we will experience because we'll know that's who I am. And so in the next episode, you're going to hear me have a beautiful conversation with a woman who has been with me through much of my journey. I think we calculated about 25 years, and she has served as and still serves as a bishop. She's my sister. She's taken flow classes and been certified in the flow certification by the course I created. We dialogue back and forth as parents. I use her wisdom when I'm serving on different community organizations, and she gives me perspective. She understands bookkeeping in a way that, I wish I did. And she gives me advice on that. And you're going to also hear us talk about our shared experience of spirituality and religion and what that means. And can I tell you this? The short version is we all have a story. And there's no one story. There's no right story. There's your story. And your story is just that, your story. And it's comprised and comprises our story. And we're all living one fabulous story, interconnected and still uniquely being exactly who we're called to be. There's no one way. There's no two ways. There's no three ways. As many stars as exist, that's how many possibilities there are. And our only hope, our only call is to slow down enough to begin to be curious and then to honor that curiosity, to notice more, and to be so gentle with ourselves that when we fall, when we rise, we're still all exactly where we're called to be. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. And I hope you tune in to the next episode where we go deeper and talk about these intersections of religion and spirituality. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and thank you for being with me today, beautiful soul. Thank you, beautiful soul, for remembering who we are and for making time and space to be with us today. As you go forward on your journey to the known and unknown places, continue to listen to your inner heart and honor your soul, because your answers are always within you. Please consider supporting us and spreading more light and love with this message by simply liking the video below, subscribing, and consider sharing as well. Most of all, take gentle care and breathe. We see you. We thank you, beautiful soul.